Property developers, what surveys do you need before you start committing to purchasing a property? Now, some of this links to another video that I did some months ago, which is in relation to don't be guessing the costs before you have certain surveys done. This is a bit of an embellishment on that, where I just wanted to talk about the types of surveys that really you should be doing before you commit to buying the property. There's little point doing these afterwards. There's always the issue of, I don't want to spend that sort of money before I've purchased the project. Now, whilst that's understandable, it can be a significant risk that you've purchased something that's spent an awful lot more money anyway, and you've found that what you've now bought is something completely different from what you thought you were going to buy. So it's always best to have a little fighting fund of a few £1,000s, depending on the size of the job, to be able to get these surveys in place before you commit to big figures. So surveys we would always recommend. Existing buildings, number one is an asbestos refurbishment and demolition survey, the intrusive survey, with all the testing and results that go with it. The management survey and the asbestos register, which should be provided to you, by the way, by the vendor, if it's a commercial building, is not sufficient to start building work under. You must, by law, have the refurbishment and demolition survey. That will identify what asbestos is where and what you need to do with it. Finding that out after the event, it can be significantly costly and also can blow your program out the window. So that's number one, absolutely number one. The other thing that you will need is a dimensional survey. So your architect has absolutely no chance in coming up with a proposal if he doesn't know the starting position. So you need a survey done of the existing building, to a dimensional survey, to make sure the architect's got the information that he needs to develop his design. Another one that's always forgotten about is a survey of the existing services. So potentially a mechanical electrical consultant to have a look at the existing incoming services, the installations, water, heating, power, lighting installations that are in the building. Are the services suitable to accept what you're proposing to do to the building? You know, if they're not of adequate capacity or quality, then you could have some major costs on your hands if you need to do any external upgrades of substations and supplies and the like. And of course, you need to know that before you commit to spending money on the building. The other one we would always recommend is a condition survey. So you want an RICS building surveyor to come out and do a condition survey of the existing building. If there are any structural issues, then that survey will identify those and may lead to the requirement to bring a structural engineer to do a specific survey on the structure. But for instance, if the roof's gone completely and you've got to spend 50 grand on the roof that you didn't know about, then, if you don't identify that before you commit to the building, that could blow your figures out the water. So you definitely need those. When you turn to new build, you need to be considering things like a topographical survey, so a level survey of the site is essential. Coupled with that, absolutely certainly need a ground penetrating radar survey. Now that quite often is done by the same survey company that do the topographical survey, but not always. That basically is a survey of what is under the ground in the way of utilities, electric, water, etc., and other such things. You will certainly need that prior to doing any site investigations with boreholes and things like that, because those guys simply aren't going to turn up and start breaking ground on a site if they don't know where the services are. That could be a massive health and safety issue as well. So always make sure you have a ground penetrating radar survey. The other survey that you may require is a survey of the existing drains. So that's normally coupled with a CCTV survey. So where are the drains at? Which way are they running? Has there been any collapse? Is there anything blocked? Can you connect into them? Things of that nature. So those are the types of surveys. It's not exhaustive. There are one or two others, but certainly those are the practical surveys that we would always recommend that you get done, and you get them done prior to making a commitment into purchasing the building or the land, as the case may be. Again, as always, if you need any help or further support on that, let me know and we'll help wherever we can.